Hello, I'm Trinity.
0, 1. Let's get started.
The respect and affection of other people is one of the most important things in life. Yet we don't think about it much, except when we're outside of the group, wanting to belong. Whoa, man, what You know I'm not sacrifice. I was sitting wishing I was...
I was supposed to go live at 3:30. Why is it 3:51? Man, the nap just hit a little too hard. That's okay. Let me just... Hold on. Jesus. God. Dang. Alright, bro. Hey, I'm a little late, but that's okay. Oh, let me go get the board. Hold on. Dang, bro. We are lifted, we are gifted y protegidos siempre. I ask God to protect me and my collective at this time during this session. Amin, ashe. Yo, the nap was too good. Okay? The nap was just too good. Let me get my Jungle Book going real quick. We're supposed to be doing the reds and oranges, like the red and orange bullet points today, the red and orange downloads. And my dress is this burnt sienna orange color. I think that's cute. All right, so the first download is quoted, "Once upon a time." Okay. The first download is quoted "once upon a time." So I'm just guessing that just means a lot of people in my collective are actually legitimately stuck in the past. And when I mean stuck in the past, I mean they're stuck on a version of the past that never existed. So, you know the saying, like, falling in love with potential? Yeah. Because it's saying once upon a time, so it's almost like a storyline we had of a certain relationship, a certain lifestyle. It's like the past future we had of a certain situation. So for example, say we were friends with somebody when we were younger, or we had a relationship with someone when we were younger, or we had we were in a certain situation, like, or we were in a certain I'm trying not to relate it just to relationships. It could also be like old, like, career fields we were in or something like that. So when you're first beginning like a journey with someone or something, and we tend to romanticize it, which there's nothing wrong with more romanticization. Ooh, it's like my voice just cracked. There's nothing wrong with romanticization. Romanticization, that's how you say it. There's nothing wrong with that. But due to romanticization, it is very possible that we can romanticize a situation for being more than what it is, unfortunately, which causes us to stay in situations longer than need be. Once upon a time, we fall in love with the story. We fall in love with the thoughts of this person or situation getting better, or the thoughts of the life we're supposed to have with this person or situation. And it just started raining on my end. It's so beautiful. The sun is still out, but it's raining. I like really want to cry right now for some reason. It just reminds me of like, oh my gosh, what the hell is going on? Some interesting shadow work going on. I'm sorry, but the rain with the sun out reminds me of like being in like in Puerto Rico, when I went to Puerto Rico. Like it would just rain randomly and then stop. Or like being in like those kind of like tropical climates. Even if being in Florida, that's what it kind of reminds me of. I like love rain, bruh. When I finish this chow, I'm gonna go out there. Actually, it might be warm enough. We can go out there right now. Dang, I was really about to cry just now. Chow. And it's not because like I'm sad or anything. It's like Once Upon a Time is giving me a very nostalgic feeling right now. I feel very nostalgic. That's also what can keep us stuck in the past, nostalgia. I had this poem when I was younger, or I had this like start of a poem, and I would say dear nostalgia. So I would personify it like she's a woman, because I used to be very obsessed with nostalgia to the point where it can be crippling during this session, just because the rain sounds really pretty and then the sun's out. Coming out. I'm coming. That song might be significant, actually. It's something about that song too. That song can be interpreted in so many ways, though. That shit, I'm interpreting it in a funny way as well, because I don't know. All right, y'all. I get to sit in the comfy seat. انتي ماما خلص انتي ماما Okay, so let's continue. Y protegido siempre. Si se puede. Basically, that's basically the download for Once Upon a Time. Being in love with a version of the past that may have been romanticized in our heads. My thing's on like 20% right now because I woke up from a nap. But we actually tend to romanticize the past so much to the point where we actually don't remember how it actually went. I'm not saying we can't remember how it actually went, but that's the thing with nostalgia. We get hooked on a feeling, or we get hooked on a piece of the past that is so sweet, to the point where we can romanticize the whole entire situation. We're not looking at the whole big picture of it all. Don't get me wrong, I'm in love with nostalgia. She's beautiful. But nostalgia can get us caught up in a lot of things and going back to a lot of things that we know better not to do, you know? Because sometimes you do have to visit the past to see what's going on, but that doesn't mean you have to visit the past to stay in it. Because that would just mean we're going backwards. That would just mean that we're literally staying and residing in our south node, which is cool and all, but it's not cool because we want to be moving on and we want to continue in our north node. Our true north node. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying to shut out the south node. That's not at all what I'm saying, because just like the light and the dark need to be integrated for true authenticity, so does the south and north node. Because so when you're going towards your north node, everything that you have from your south node, the lessons, the love, the pain, everything else that you have from that past life, in a sense, you take with you. So, yeah. Again, like we did yesterday, I will read the angel number of the day at the end, okay? Ooh. So one of my markers have gotten like very, very juicy. First of all, if you can see when I wrote this down, the red was not as potent. So that might be significant for my collective. Sorry. aging like fine wine, or getting better with time. We're getting more potent with time. We're getting more potent with like just time. Actually enjoying like slow growth, slow process, slow burn. Because once upon a time I was very impatient. I'm not saying I don't have impatient tendencies. My voice is cracking so much. I'm not saying that I don't have impatient tendencies. But I'm getting a lot better when it comes to my patience. With a lot of things, with myself, with other people, with life, with challenges. Yeah. Alright, next one. We have sleep paralysis. That is the next download, but Spirit wants me to hold off on that and discuss the download that says Funhouse Mirror first. The way I'm interpreting Funhouse Mirror... You ever go to... Oh, sorry, y'all. You ever go to a carnival? They're usually at carnivals. And they have like the little funhouse mirror, like little trailer. You go in there and you literally have to go through the maze with all like the mirrors. And some of them have like funhouse mirrors in it. I'm getting also House of Mirrors. So a lot of reflection going on at this time. And you can either truly look in the mirror or you can deflect. A lot of people tend to look at themselves or look at other people and only see the other person. But if you attract a certain type of person or attract a certain type of group in a way that you are still that's still a reflection of you. I'm not saying you are this monster if you attracted a quote unquote monster, but it could have something to do with what you experienced as a child. It could have something to do with what things you were attracted to as a child, things that you may have done in a past life. Like, they can mean a lot of different things, but there are a lot of things in this life that doesn't happen by mistake or coincidence. It's for you to learn. It's for you to course correct. It's for you to challenge yourself, and it's for God to mold you in a way where you can handle your future blessings your blessings in the future. Sorry. So when I see Funhouse Mirror, I'm just guessing, like, when you see someone, I don't know why I'm getting the word intimidation. Maybe some of you guys are intimidated by what you see. Or maybe, like, some of you guys are not intimidated, but almost scared. Because, this person or situation, this person kind of reminds you of what you could have been if you would have took another route in life. Or they remind you of your shadow self. Or a version of yourself that could scare you. Like, for example, like, I tell everybody, like, I don't really fear a lot of things but myself, because I know what I'm capable of. And I feel like a lot of people in my collective knows what they're capable of. I'm not gonna, like, a lot of people like to play dumb, which is good. Keep playing dumb in this lifetime. Because, but don't play dumb with yourself. That's for other people, not for yourself, okay? You cannot fool yourself and you cannot fool God. Y'all both see everything, so please don't. Because if you keep doing that with yourself, you will end up in some type of psychosis. Or you will end up in some type of, like, mental thing. You don't want to be there. That's all I'm getting from Funhouse Mirror. Like, true reflections, but, like, the polar opposite. Not shaming your reflection, or not shaming the distortions, or not feeling shame for feeling certain emotions. Because some of the emotions could not be yours, but some of the emotions could be brought up because you need to address them within the collective. Because these emotions, although a lot of them belong to us, they belong to the earth. They belong to the people who were here before us. Your ancestors, you know what I'm saying? You cannot shun these emotions out. And a lot of people like to shun emotions. They like to suppress them, which is fine. But the more you do that, the more you can end up in a fucking psych ward, bro. Like, the longer you run away from yourself, there's only so much longer you can run away from yourself in this lifetime. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the movie Us by Jordan Peele. I don't want to really spoil it for anybody, but at the same time, that shit came out when I was in high school. Like, please be so for real. Go find it and go watch it. But by the end of that movie, it was figured out, or it should have been figured out by the way how they retold the story. Damn. Sirens is loud. I'm sorry. I think Spirit doesn't want me to spoil the movie, but if you guys know Jordan Peele, he's an excellent director in the psychological horror genre, and I definitely recommend going to watch that movie. It definitely has a lot to do with our shadow self that is created in our childhood. I don't know why I'm crossing out a download that I didn't go over, but I guess that's the next one. Or either that or Spirit or something else doesn't want me to go over that. But we're going to go over that. Don't be scared. You got to show them that you're really not scared. You got to show them that you're really not scared. I'm singing the go-go version, I'm sorry. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm about to go get my iPad. We about to play some music. Hold on. Please do not, if you're from the area that be saying music like music, please don't get offended. It's... I listen to Glorilla a lot, and I love her accent. So certain words, I just be like, I'll pick up on it. I'll just say it because it sounds better. Like Merzik. Like, yeah, that sounds a little better in her accent. So I'm going to say it like that. What the hell? What the hell did I say? I'm sorry, my notifications, bro. I just woke up from a whole nap. Woke up in a whole different universe. Hold on. This song is significant because when I was little, there was a point in time in my life that I did not have rhythm. Like, I had no rhythm. I don't know where my rhythm came from. I swear it got activated with this go-go song, bro. I don't know how. Like, one day I was just chopping, bro. And my mom was like, what the fuck? My mom was like, bro, what? And I know that she still can't find the video to this day, bro. My first time chopping. But I was, like, probably, like, in 4th, 5th, or 6th grade. And she put the song on, bro. I swear for God. I swear, bro. Everybody was so shook because there was a moment in my life that, there was a moment in my life where I did not have rhythm. I find that to be so funny. Okay, this is the song, bro. Okay, hold on. I don't know if I'm gonna get I don't know if this song is copywritten or not. So I'm gonna slow it down. But I think that's a significant story just because there's a lot of things that we experienced as a kid that a lot of things are not activated. So, like, I didn't have rhythm at first, or I couldn't dance as well. But a certain song kind of triggered that. I'm getting a lot of people in my collective, like, are going over, like, their past selves and looking back on what they couldn't do. But you're supposed to be proud of the things that you can do, not ashamed of the things you couldn't do before. I'm playing this go-go song. For the people who don't know this song, bro, like, come on, be so for real, bro. God damn.
I gotta slow it down because I don't want to get copywritten.
It's by him.
You said I love the fact that you never stopped dancing. No, bruh. It was a moment of time
where I really did stop dancing. I stopped a lot of creative things, and bruh, I will never do that again. Oh my gosh. He said, ain't afraid to move nothing, even gotta ask who's stunting, I'ma stay low key. Gotta prove nothing. Just tryna put it on from my city like Wale and Mamba Sauce.
Thank you, JoJo. I love you. First of all, we got a Virgo in the building.
I love a Virgo and a Virgo love me. Oh my gosh, Trin.
This is Evolved Virgo, not just any Virgo. She gets down. She don't play. But yeah, that was the download we were talking about. Funhouse Mirror. But the next download we're going to discuss is these two names have they hold weight in the community, in the regular community and in the black community. So I'm going to be very careful when I say these two names because they're attached to certain movies and certain stories. What the hell? What is that? What is it? Anyway, y'all know I'm old. I don't be knowing all these little, what the hell just happened to my background? It was like, celebration. Celebration. Anyway, I'm going to say these names one time. I don't want nobody to say them again, okay? I'm not really too scared, or the first one doesn't frighten me as much because I kind of resonate with her in my core. But the second one, he's scurry. We're going to touch on him lightly because he did pass away, I believe, in 2024. God rest his soul. Tony Todd. He's actually from DC, actually. Born and raised. But it says Bloody Mary versus Candyman. I want to say it again, but I don't want to say it for the people who are maybe like very superstitious about BM and CM. That's what we're going to say, BM versus CM. Everybody knows that these are two folklores, or one is a folklore. I'm not really sure if BM has a movie yet, because that was just like a really thing in our childhood where like if you say her name in the mirror a certain amount of time, she will pop up, you know what I'm saying, with tears of blood in her eyes. But CM, that man haunted generations and still is haunting generations for the kids who are still watching that movie, because Jordan Peele, speaking of Jordan Peele, he decided to make a remake of CM, his own version. And I thought it was gonna be ass when it first started. I'm like, bro, please don't touch that movie. When that dropped, it dropped a few years ago, but it was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it because I ended up watching it on like maybe Tubi or something, or like a legal site or something, like a year or two ago. That joint was good. If you've never watched C-Man, I don't know where you been. And if you're black and never watched C-Man, man, bruh, that was a very pivotal point in the childhood, in the development of the psyche of that movie. And it's more than just one movie. I think it's like 2 or 3. But basically, if you've never watched that movie, it's about an entity that forms in the town of, I believe, either Chicago or Brooklyn. And it's heavily based on the black trauma. You know, a lot of our movies that we make that are black but that are horror have the trauma aspect to us, because trauma and violence do create these entities that live in these neighborhoods. I feel like maybe like he was a person that maybe was wrongfully accused of something, or he was doing something and he ended up getting killed by the neighborhood. I forgot. It's almost, I don't want to disrespect the movie and compare it to Freddy Krueger or anything, but it's along the lines of that. These entities that form in these neighborhoods. But I'm focusing on black neighborhoods, or the neighborhoods that have like heavy trauma attached to them, because that's how entities form. When something tragic happens or something horrific happens, the fear of the people create these entities. People don't realize that entities are created through fear, trauma, and horrific events.
Okay, so the story time, or the mini story time I'm about to get into, is actually very traumatic, and it has to do with a man passing on in my neighborhood the day I was at home. And this is basically a trigger warning. I'm telling the story with as much tact and trying to be as respectful as I can. It was a very traumatic event for, I'm pretty sure, everybody who witnessed it. Everybody probably experienced this in different ways, and it was a very sad day for me anyway, and obviously the people who were related to this man. So I really want to say RIP to this man, even though it happened maybe a few years ago. I'm praying that the family are in better spirits, and I'm praying that, I don't know, like, it's it was just very traumatic. So I really am praying for that family still, even to this day. Sending out love and Jesus. Yeah, just a trigger warning for some people before I get into this story.
And now I'm feeling the need to like transition out of that and talk about a certain situation. I want to talk about the situation with a lot of grace and tact, or I'm going to attempt to, because this is a very traumatic situation that a lot of people don't even discuss in this neighborhood that I'm in right now. But one year, I believe it was 2021, 2022, I was on my way to a job interview, and I look up and there's this man on, and he was doing some work on the power lines, I believe. It was a very, very, very hot day, bro. The day was very, very hot, okay? And I don't know if he had gotten, like, shocked or electrocuted so bad on, like, the power line, but he ends up passing out. Or he's getting really hot. Mind you, yeah, he did get shocked, because I remember like, feeling or hearing this big pop. And me and my mom were like, what the hell? So I go outside. It's literally right in front of my window. Literally right in front of my balcony. It's very, honestly, I don't want to make that situation about me. But when you witness the process of death or the process of the Reaper coming, it is a very ominous feeling, bruh. An ominous feeling. Eerie feeling, bruh. So I'm looking, and I'm like, bro, what just happened? This man, the sun is glazed, like, is shining on him so hard. He's getting hot, and the little thing he's on, it gets stuck. It legitimately gets stuck. And it was such a freaking weird, dystopian feeling, because I look around, I'm trying to figure out how I could help. Everybody around this junk was just fucking staring. Everybody around them, just, like, I see people just staring, not saying anything, and then I see people pulling out their fucking phones. I wanted to beat the fuck out of everybody. Excuse my language. But I was so mad. Because what the fuck is your phone about doing in this situation, bro? This man is stuck up there, bro. What are y'all doing? And I already know that, like, obviously they couldn't do anything. Or I couldn't do anything to get this man down. Or, I feel like that's a lie. But, like, they, But I was just so mad. I get so mad when there's, like, very, very triggering situations or something like a life or death situation, and niggas pull out their phone. It makes me want to rock house their shit, bro. It makes me want to curb stomp a nigga. Like, what are you doing? Put your phone down. Go. Like, this man was literally on the brink of death. Like, the Reaper was literally coming. So he's up there. Sun is shining. It's really, really hot day. I start panicking. I go to my room. I try to grab my mattress. I'm like, bro, like, maybe he could jump down. Like, I was like, bro, because somebody had called the ambulance, and the ambulance was taking too long to get here. And he was up there. This nigga was dying, bruh. He was about to die. And everybody's just recording, or they're just talking amongst themselves. Like, it was just the lack of empathy in the situation was horrifying to witness. And that was the moment I figured that humanity is freaking doomed. Or humanity have gotten so far gone in their emotional tract, or the emotional thing, like they're so far gone that they're not, like, it was just so weird to watch everybody just not have reactions or have such dual reactions on their face, or just watching it like it's a freaking TV show. And the man is dying, like, he's getting dehydrated as we speak. And I'm not trying to disrespect him or his family, because God rest his soul, and God bless his family. But I just don't like how this neighborhood handled it. I don't know, maybe if they had a discussion about where to put his, memorial. I just don't like where it is. I just do not like where it is, bruh. But I digress. If y'all know anything about my gifts, I do tap into, like, the underworld a lot. And I don't know. I don't know. It could have been his respects could have been paid a little bit better, in my opinion, by the neighborhood. Anyway, but continuing the story, I'm like, dang, my mom's like, well, you can't stay here, Trinity. Like, you have to go to this dark job interview. So I'm like, my mind isn't even on the interview at that point. Like, I'm like, bro, what the hell? So we quickly go to the job interview. I'm also explaining to, like, the person that's interviewing me that there's a man on the top of this thing that is in immense pain, and the ambulance had not gotten there. The ambulance was called way before I left. I got back from the interview, the ambulance was not there. And mind you, we live, like, around the corner from a fire from them. They're right there. The little firehouse, whatever they're called. Goddamn, the ambulance is all the way down there, bruh. It's walking distance. So I'm getting more frustrated as to how the fuck, the ambulance or the police officers aren't here. And we don't live that far from the police station either. So I was just getting very, very angry. I come back, there are still people just staring. Like, what the fuck are you staring at? This man is in pain, bro. Like, it was pissing me off. And I'm like, bro, so what are we about to do about this? Like, I was asking around. I was asking the people that worked here. I'm like, so what y'all doing? Where's the police? Where's the ambulance to come rescue him? Because obviously, I don't think, like, maybe I'm not looking at it from a logical standpoint as far as getting him down, how hard that was, because the equipment was hot. It was very hot. And he was dealing with the power line, so maybe there was a protocol as to how to get him down. But I was just feeling a lot, and I was like, bro, like, it was a very sad situation to witness, because I believe his niece was there. It was very sad, bro. Oh my gosh. It was very sad. Like, I'm not sure if that was his niece or his daughter or somebody else who was witnessing that situation, but she was crying. She was like, bro, get him down. Like, it was just very, very sad, bro. And when everybody was witnessing this, I feel like nobody had empathy or even sympathy. Like, everybody just looked. I don't like saying the word NPCs. I really don't like saying the word, because that kind of dehumanizes people. But I did not like that shit, bro. I did not like that. And a few more hours go by. It's probably nighttime, right? And they finally had got them down, and then I had got the news that I think he was rushed to the hospital. I say rushed very lightly, because that wasn't rushed to me. And then the apartment office ends up writing a letter to everyone, explaining how the person on the power line had passed away. When I tell you, my heart sank so much. Like, god dang, bro. Like, this neighborhood, I'm not saying there hasn't been a death in this neighborhood before, but that's the only one I've witnessed. Because I think there was a death in this neighborhood before I moved here. But that shit, bro, like, when I think about that stuff, it makes me cry, bro. Because, in my opinion, there was more that could have been done in that situation for that man. So, yeah. We're just not going to touch too much on that, because I'm going to start crying. That shit blew the fuck out of me. That letter blew the fuck out of me. But I guess, when it's time, when it's your time, it's your time. But still, bro, like, okay. That's enough of that download. Let me just, like, get whatever tears are about to drop out my freaking eyes. Okay. Moving on, because that whole story, and I can go on and on about that to the point where I'll be blue in the face. But the last download is sleep paralysis. I'm going to touch on sleep paralysis lightly, because I'm going to do a separate video on my other channel discussing what sleep paralysis is, how you get out of it, my experiences with it, because I used to experience sleep paralysis very heavy as a child. Like, to the point where I would hear stuff. I would get stuck. Oh my gosh. But for anybody in my collective who have experienced sleep paralysis, or experienced heavy sleep paralysis as a child, sometimes we experience our gifts in such traumatic and dark ways that as we get older, they get suppressed, or we don't have them, or we can't tap into them as fluidly. So especially if a lot of my people in my collective have those gifts to where we are very tapped into the underworld, or very that tapped into the dream world, astral world naturally. When these things come out, and when you get into that sleep paralysis state. Okay, so how you end up in a sleep paralysis state is like you're in between sleeping and awake. Your body is like kind of falling in a sense, but your astral body is rising. That's the best way I can explain it. And then, boom, you're stuck in that state. Your body is literally paralyzed in either fear, usually fear, right? Everybody experiences this differently. I've heard some people experience sleep paralysis where they'll actually see the entity right in front of them, and I've experienced that as well. Some people experience sleep paralysis where they'll get their clairaudient things get triggered. And oh my gosh, I want to explain this one story, and then we're gonna dip. This is when I was still going back and forth from my parents' house before I graduated high school. I had got sleep paralysis so bad one day that I was hearing voices, like, but they were all scattered, and they're like, shh, and they were very loud in my ear. That moment was very, very, very scary to me, to a point where I shot up out my bed. I broke up out of bed. I had to like sleep with my little brother. Like, that's how scared I was. Like, that's how scared I was. But I'm gonna read and when these situations happen, when it has to do with our gifts, fear does block a lot of things. That's why I
Sacred
write
Scribe
it's like a short on my YouTube page that says no fear, no doubt, no disbelief, because those three things can block a lot of blessings, can block a lot of gifts, and can block a lot of transitions. Angel number 357 is comprised of the energy, no doubt, which is the number 3, the vibrations is number 5, and the influence is the number 7. Number 3 brings growth, manifesting, expansion, sensitivity, self-expression. That's all I'm going to touch on right now, because I'm going to do a whole video on sleep paralysis, sleep demons, succubus, incubus, incubi, and stuff like that in the future. The last thing we're going to go over is the angel number 357. Yesterday, I just told you guys to look up the angel number, but I will look it up for you guys today because I'm feeling generous. I'm feeling like I should spoil you guys on these, because I did enter some dark stories today. Creativity, joy, and optimism. Number 3 also creates the ascendant masters. Number 5 encourages us to be true to ourselves and live our lives accordingly, and it resonates with personal freedom, life changes, and making positive life choices and decisions. Variety, adaptability, and versatility. Resourcefulness, motivation, activity, and progress. Number 7 resonates with inner knowing and understanding others. Compassion, compassion and empathy, dignity and refinement. Spiritual awakening, development and enlightenment, endurance and persistence of purpose, study, learning, and education. Angel number 357 tells you that an